is really, you can't be a deer in the headlights. I run my business in that I feel like I need to do 2 major changes to my business every year in order to remain competitive and just not get lackadaisical about my business. Since we've been in the pandemic, I've probably made 4 major changes to my business. I decided to kind of pivot and launch a virtual race to see what that was like. And we had over 500 people register for a race, and we were able to raise money for a charity. We're in the middle of relaunching Outdoor Sportswire and possibly 3 other websites now to help grow my business, which has been part of my long-term plan. We're launching a customer support portal through Zendesk. We created a new resource library, which really didn't cost hardly anything, but it was a great resource to add for our audiences. So I'm doubling down now that the pandemic's going, and it's been really exciting to see how much you can do in such a short period of time when you're kind of put in this unusual pressure situation.
It's really been very much around cultivating a mindset of change and being okay with change and accelerating into it. When COVID happened, I was really concerned because I thought, wow, you know, folks are not going to want to do professional development. You know, people are going to be worried about, you know, their economic situation or maybe their home situation. And really it was just the opposite. And before it started to blow up for me, though, I had to shift my own mind thinking of what are the opportunities that I could offer to women. So before, where I just used to do mostly one-on-one coaching, I started offering group sessions. And I was never a big person around group coaching because you really have to curate that carefully so that everybody gets something out of it. But instead of worrying about, you know, creating something that was perfect, I just put it out there. I started to have these virtual soirees with my existing clients like every other Friday. And, you know, like 20 and 30 women were joining these soirees because they wanted to have the opportunity to express themselves. There was no real agenda. It was just kind of come in, let's talk about, you know, what's going on. But essentially through COVID, what I learned was that, you know, sometimes fear can keep you stuck. And you really have to force yourself to think about what can I do differently and what are the opportunities here and how can I help others? And once you do that, it's freeing.
What I've learned is that there are opportunities, or this has been a good reminder that there are opportunities in every situation. It's obviously there have been winners and losers, as sad as it sounds to say that in this pandemic. There have been some industries that are thriving. Amazon is thriving, groceries are thriving, toilet paper, hand sanitizers are thriving. So it's been a challenge for us to pivot and to go where the opportunity is, to see how we can add value to people in the current situation that we're in. And, you know, it's always been like that in history. In the Great Depression and World War II, there have always been these thriving industries and sectors that have done really well. So it's been challenging, but it's been also really exciting to just sort of like accept the situation. Like Tina said, not be a deer in the headlights, but really get past the sort of freak out and then just face it head on and see, okay, what are the new opportunities that are here? So,
and I'd like to add, for me, it was 2 things. Running my own race. Yeah. And being okay with putting my blinders on and focusing on 918 Design Co. and where I want that to go, because especially in my industry, it's very competitive, and there isn't, what's the right way to say it? It's very kind of cliquey and non-inclusive. And I initially started out trying to go to these different industry connections and events, and was finding it's so hard to get in and to be a part of the conversation, and was very discouraged. And then I came back and I thought about it, and I said to myself, well, just focus on you, focus on what you're trying to do and what you're trying to build, and don't look at what everyone else is doing. And the second thing was gravitate towards those who were inclusive and who did want to open arm, bring me in and share That's a hard thing in my field. There's not a lot of sharers. But there are some who are out there. And so gravitate towards those people and don't be so stressed and worried about what you don't have access to. And that was really big for me, to be able to do what I'm doing and to go in the direction that I'm going. And that's why I'm so thankful for Hera Hub, because man, the women and that I've met who are just so loving and caring, and they want to see you win. It has been amazing for my business, and it helped me to soften my heart a little bit and say there still are people who want to see you win. Deal with those people. So that's what I've done during the pandemic, and just during this, like she said, change. It's been so awesome for me. So
I just got very focused, and like they said, I hunkered down because it made me realize that what I'm working on now, there's a bigger need for it, and more people are going to be looking for the personal and professional development to help them stand out from everybody else that is doing what they're doing or what they want to do when companies are hiring and when people are getting back to work. So more than ever, I feel a greater need. That's what this pandemic has taught me. There's a greater need for what I have to offer. And there are a lot of people out there that can benefit from it. So it really lit a fire under me.
I think that that fire was perhaps lit a little bit by the fact that I had 2 little ones now at home, and trying to balance being a full-time mom and running a business. What I really realized and gave me a lot of confidence is I can get a lot done in a very short period of time. You know, when I can really put on those blinders and focus on the work at hand, I can get great work done with not a lot of time. And I think when you have, when you have the luxury of time and space, we tend to fill it with a lot of different things. And I had to be very judicious and very focused in how I spent my time so I could keep delivering for my clients. And it was actually confidence building to see how much I could really get done, and gave me, I think, even more confidence to go out and expand my business.